Hey, what's up, Garrett? This is a quick demo video for you for your Korbanth Sabine saber. Install the Proffie. It's a 2-button setup, but you have 2 different options here. So I set this saber up to either use the control box here, so the front plunger will be your power, the back will be your auxiliary, or you can use the red cog. So if you flipped it, if the cog was facing up and you flipped it off to the left, that would be power, and to the right would be auxiliary, and we'll go over that. All right, and you've got a Carl Chen Neopixel connector in here, and then how to get to your chassis is you want to unscrew your pommel. That's the only place on the saber that opens. All right, so just go ahead and take your pommel off. Try not to drop it here. Put that off to the side. You'll see your speaker. Just go like that and pop your chassis right out. Now, it does matter how this goes in. You'll notice at the very front of this guy, I have this little notch or this peg sticking out. That's kind of a locator for your chassis. It may be a little bit hard to see in there, but you'll see it in person. Yeah, that's hard to see. Let me see if I can shine a light in there for you. You can see your 14-pin PCB in there, and then right at the bottom, you see that little notch or that cutout in there, right? That lines up with the chassis piece. All right, so we'll go over that. But this is your chassis here. So you've got your Proffie board. You just have my sound font on here for now with a copy of the config file on the SD card. Right in front of the board is a kill switch. This board is press fit down into the chassis. You don't have to take it out to get to your stuff though. So SD card and micro USB access from here. It says Sabine over on the side of the chassis. You've got a removable battery setup. So your spring side is over here, right? Flipping it over here, you can see your power and aux switches with an arrow, and this arrow indicates it needs to be pointed up towards the control box. So we'll do that here in a second. You have a 28mm smoke goes out post elite speaker as well. All right, so that is pretty much what your chassis consists of. Grab a battery and put it in. I do take the sticker off this battery. It's an 18650 keep power. So take the sticker off, and then you'll notice on the battery, when you see it in person, there's a strip underneath the battery wrapping that runs from one end of the battery all the way to the other. And it's kind of hard to see on video here, but you can see almost there how I have it right outside of the chassis, but not inside. All right, so just right there on the side is the best fitment. So we'll come over here and flip the kill switch. Now, when you want this to line up in there, you're going to have to take this arrow that I've got on your chassis and point it up towards the control box. So everything, you see how these tactile switches over here make a straight line over to your control box. If you don't do it and you have it off like that, you try to put this in, it's only going to go in that far. Don't force it. All right, so bring it out, line those tactile switches up with your control box. And another indicator will be, you're going to see, you look at your control box and make a straight line over here. It'll come right to this rib, and this rib will line up with the side speaker tab on your speaker. All right, so when you do that, you can push it all the way in. Don't push on the speaker drum. Just get it in there, and you can use your pommel to push it the rest of the way in. The pommel does all the work. All right, so we'll come over here, lock this down. You can crank down on it tight until your ring is aligned with your control box. Come over here and hit power. So your LEDs are firing up. Auxiliary back here. And you have twist off. Or you could flip it off to the left to turn on from the red cog. And then flip it off to the right for auxiliary. That's personally my favorite one, just because you don't see this on a saber a whole lot, but you do have options there. All right, so again, auxiliary. Or you could turn on from here. let's put a blade in. This guy takes a 1-inch diameter Neopixel blade. I'm going to use my test blade, but it is set up for a full-length blade. All right, so just go ahead and put your blade in there. Lock it down. You've got a single blade retention screw on the saber, which is located in between your shrouds right here. All right. You can hold down auxiliary and hit power. You'll hear that, and then you can just twist the saber to whatever color you like. We want that green, and we'll hit power. Now we've locked that green in. Go clock on clock. The saber sounds really good when it's all put together. All right, so we'll go ahead and break it back down. Take the blade out of here. I've got your blade plug inside of your saber box. But we'll, again, just take the pommel off. Set that off to the side. Grab your saber like this and cup your other hand and go like this once or twice till the chassis pops out, and you can just pull it right out. All right. To take the battery out, you will need a tool because it's a pretty tight fit, but I'm just using the back of a pair of tweezers. From the positive side by your speaker, just come over here and pop it out like that. All right, but that is basically your Sabine. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get this out in the mail to you tomorrow morning. Thanks.